radio.
Oh.
It is I, your melancholy host, 13-year-old Ponderous Sea Lion.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hopefully you can make it through this monotone podcast without killing yourself by the end of it.
At least my podcast isn't 3 hours long every week.
Hold on. I have to screech at Riot at the loudest possible way I can. Memories.
Like you've never done that?
This is very spot on. I can't even tell who's who right now.
Alright, fuck both of you.
Michael, welcome back, buddy.
How long's it been?
It's been a long time. I like what you've done with your hair.
Thank you.
It actually looks like human. That's a good look.
As opposed to what? Goat?
As opposed to a cartoon of a human.
Weird comparison.
Well, no, because you looked like Egon from Ghostbusters before, and now you just look like
things never change.
Now you just look like you've been to the salon recently.
Thanks. My mom cut my hair. She did a good job.
Also, you've got like a Mr. Wilson from Home Improvement thing going on with your webcam, so you need to sit up a little bit because I can see about this much of you.
I can see my whole face.
Yeah, but that's not the portion of the stream that is captured. So, there you go, like a driver's license photo.
I'm going to just do that. I'm actually just going to keep slouching and do this.
And now you're a reverse Mr. Wilson because you've now just cut off the top of your eyebrows.
Fuck.
Nothing's ever good enough for Blake.
Well, the problem is that it's showing me, like, I can't see what you're seeing.
Stay right there. Don't move the entire podcast. Just don't move. There you go. Also, nice serial killer gaze. All right. So, we have Ponderous Sea Lion in the house. It's a rare occasion. We got him back playing League a little bit. That was fun. And then also here's Wormlax.
Unfortunately. I guess I'm here.
Well, you know, we got to round it out. Like, you can't have 3 exciting people on the podcast. You have to have
okay.
chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla, baby. We're Neapolitan here. That's a strong flavor. Huh?
Who's who?
Oh, I'm clearly strawberry. And that would, I guess, make you that rich southern chocolate.
I'm the nice base vanilla.
Flavor.
Huh? Chocolate's your favorite flavor?
It is.
All right, then.
It's good news for me, I guess. But I might eat myself, so oh well. Can I just say real quick how excited I am that the corn memes are alive in the Discord server?
Oh no, they never stopped. I mean
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that literally never stopped.
Wasn't that like 5 minutes of a podcast 2 years ago?
Yeah, Cat in the Hat phased out for like 30 episodes, and then somebody mentioned it, and then it came back again, but the corn never died.
Well, did you not see the episode where Blake literally drank corn soda?
Yeah, that was recent.
I think, or maybe you told me about corn. I don't know if I saw the episode, but I've definitely heard about his corn soda before.
It was fucking disgusting, actually.
Yeah, I remember.
It literally just tastes like corn. I mean, it's eerie how very much it tastes like corn. Like
it's in the realm of extraordinarily corn-like foods.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the problem. Is like you're thinking, like, I'm gonna chew this.
Like the way that watermelon Jolly Ranchers don't taste like watermelon. They taste like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. That's what you were expecting.
Right.
In soda form.
Or like I was expecting like something corn-esque that like, you know, oh, this is like, you know, because soda is corn syrup for the most part, right? So it's like I was expecting something like that, like a, you know, oh, this is the primary taste is like corn. Like cream soda doesn't taste like cream. You know what I mean? It's delicious. Doesn't taste shit like cream. Corn, this soda is like biting into corn on the cob, but it completely brain fucks you because you're like, I am not biting anything. I'm drinking. This is weird and this tastes awful because your brain isn't ready for it.
You need to make a YouTube thumbnail out of that. The most confusing soda ever, and then your face is like, or something.
Oh my god. You'll never believe what happened. 3 a.m. drinking corn soda.
It's basically like a Cody Co video of him like, kids, corn soda. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wait, I can't tell. Do you like Cody Ko or not?
I do. That was just
Oh,
my
okay.
impression. I think he does good stuff. But
I have to say, I don't think you missed your calling in the YouTube influencer role. I think you're
Mother,
right where you need to
please.
be.
I'm doing a podcast right now.
hey,
This
Michael,
is important. You're
is
in
your
the shot.
mother wearing like a Japanese robe?
Yeah. She
That's
is.
amazing. That answers so many questions as to how you turned out the way you did. Like, just right there. I'm already. Mom comes in wearing a full kimono, and you're like, Mother, please. Michael, what's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Cheryl, okay?
What the fuck? Who names
If you
a cat
if
Cheryl?
you knew her, you'd know it's appropriate. That's all I'm saying.
What, does she have like tiny cat glasses in her own little kimono?
She okay, she literally screams at me all the time for no reason. Just like a woman named Cheryl would do, presumably. Like she constantly wants to talk to the manager, but she's a cat, so there is no manager. It's just me, you know?
She thinks she's the big poupon of the house, and she's like, listen, things are not how I would like them, and you need to fix this right now. But all you hear is meow, meow.
And then all I get is mockery for naming my cat Cheryl.
No, actually, what was funny is she said, he's like, Cheryl, get the hell out of here. And I'm like, who the fuck is Cheryl?
I've never
like-
said get the hell out of here to my cat. That is just
And I was
patently
like,
false.
I'm just saying, we're doing, this is like yesterday. And he's like, Cheryl, get out of here, Cheryl. Go on, Cheryl, get. And I'm like,
Fuck.
who the fuck is Cheryl? And why are you talking to her like this? Oh, it's my cat. Like, people don't name cats Cheryl, Michael.
The vet actually said that they'd never seen a cat named Cheryl before that, so
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
know. I know the vet said that. We talked about it. Me and the vet. We're like, can you believe this fucking guy? I was like, yeah, his mom wears a kimono. And the guy's like, oh shit, it all makes sense.
I missed not talking about League on this podcast.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a League podcast?
Old times. Old times.
Do I take you guys off track even more than usual, or is it just always like
No,
this?
no, we've committed to like the first 15 minutes or so. It's just whatever.
I think 2
whatever.
weeks ago, didn't we go like half an hour without talking
Yeah,
about
we
League?
did. We were talking about whether or not. And by the way, I had hamburger pizza tonight
Oh no.
for
Ooh,
dinner.
nice.
It was delicious. Ruined my day on calories because it's not good for you.
No.
Not in
No
any way,
way.
shape, or form. But yeah, man, I had that shit tonight and it was delicious. And it is a quality topping for pizza. That was the discussion. It's like, Michael, you ever had hamburger pizza? Is it just a South thing?
I've never had that.
It's like beef on a pizza, just ground beef in little pieces on a pizza.
Nope. But I'm
Do
not
yourself a
much of a
favor.
toppings guy. So.
Yeah, do you have a Casey's anywhere near you? At Casey's Pizza?
Nope.
What?
I don't think we have this.
Motherfucker.
I
I'm not in
don't
the
think
South, I'm in
Casey's
Texas.
is as
It's
big.
Texas
as you
is
think
the
it is.
fucking South.
No,
They
it's
call
not.
themselves. It's like one of the southernmost
Mississippi.
states.
Texas is its own thing.
Yeah, Texas is
California is
separate
a
from
southernmost
everything.
state. That doesn't make it the South. It's not actually based on geography.
It's based on like the Confederacy, and Texas was like part of that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it not? Am I just?
It was.
I
Was
thought
Texas,
so.
Was Texas still like in that state of like half Mexico, half U.S. at that point?
No, Texas, I believe, had been a state for 11 years when the southern states seceded, which
That's
is
a
what
very
Yeah,
makes,
it
specific
joined the
number.
Confederacy
I
on
took
March
3 years
2nd.
of Texas history. No other state has 3 years of state history.
Why do
but
you have
Texas
to
does.
take 3 years of state history? That's so
I don't
fucked up.
know. We have a lot of history. Remember
and we
the Alamo?
wonder why Texas people are so fucking just enamored with
Like,
their
look,
own state.
I'll
and
look it up right now and tell you.
It's
When
so
did
weird.
Texas become a state? 1845, and then when did Civil War start? 1861. So it was 16 years, not 11
Wow.
years.
Only 5 years off though. I'm impressed. Your
Thank
schooling
you.
helped somewhat.
Okay, so while you did that, I looked up another important question, and that was how many people name their cat Cheryl? And it turns out there are no hits on Google, But
There are 0 hits.
But it does say that Cheryl is a female given name common in English-speaking countries for people. Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's because
My
I love her
mother-in-law
like
is
a
named
person.
Cheryl, by the way.
Well,
They
tell her
should
that she's
be.
named after my cat.
No, it's the other way around. She was clearly born before your cat.
Cheryl has always existed. She's just decided to take a mortal form recently.
Oh, here's something interesting.
I feel like it's not going to
A
be
less
interesting.
popular theory is that the name is Germanic in origin and is a feminine version of the male name Charles, which means free man.
Wow.
So you named your cat Female Free Man.
I
It's
think
a
that
doubly
phrase for
inappropriate
that would
name
be
for a
free
cat.
woman.
Can't wait to forget that fact in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're really enlightening us here, Blake.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, it's nowhere near as important as 3 years worth of Texas history.
Hey, you know, in the 7th grade, I think that was the 2nd year, and all we did was color maps all year. I
What,
hated it.
maps of Texas only?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, maps of Texas. That's what we did all year. We colored maps of Texas because this fucking state is gonna kill me.
Did
Now,
they like?
class, which one on the map is Texas?
You gotta color in the Great Plains region.
And this was the 2nd year of history.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, everybody draw Hank Hill, an
I'm just-
influential Texan. Has
I'm
everybody watched season 1? Are we good to talk about season 1?
Ugh. I'm just glad that I can enlighten everyone listening as to how fucking weird Texas is sometimes. That's just
Texas.
I've done my duty here.
The Boomhauer state. So, all right.
Fucking.
So, yeah. How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time. I haven't caught up with you in a while.
With me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess
Like-
it's weird because we've been playing. But
Yeah, we've been playing, but like the show.
the show, it's been a
Yeah.
while for
People
sure.
people vaguely remember you. Some of them.
I am beloved. Don't
Well-
give me any of that vague.
No. Hold up. I have a running theory that anything that we said in the show more than 15 episodes ago is new material. Because like I think the amount of community retention is about 15 episodes deep, and then it's a completely new audience.
That seems pretty
Because-
generous. That's
Well, no,
all.
I'm just saying because I keep getting questions that we answered 16 episodes ago, and it's like, have you guys ever talked about corn before? And I'm like, yeah, actually, we did several episodes. You should check those out. Nope, never heard of it. Just got into the episode. Great show. Love you guys. Started watching 5 episodes ago. Like,
Well,
fuck.
I guess I'm proud then that we started a new, fresh meme of fucking Falcons. You know,
Yeah, that was a new one.
That one's fresh. Yeah,
That's fresh.
I'm really,
That's hot.
really proud of that one.
Should I
Have
be
you,
here for this or?
Oh, did you not? Oh,
it
you
might
weren't
be a
there
little
for
too
that.
old for you.
Oh yeah, so check it out. We were comparing League of Legends
So check it out.
to Sun Tzu's Art of War, and
Uh-huh.
somehow the topic of falconry came up, and Double Sniffed was involved, and then it became about having sex with the falcon, and then we made that into a meme where we had a segment called "Just Falcon Around." And it is where we just talked about whatever. It's this segment that we're doing now. This is just
See,
Falcon Around.
I thought it was a Smash reference, like you're talking about beating Falcon players.
No, we were talking about having
No.
sex with a bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's less.
And then the YouTube video of the old man who like released the falcon to hunt and it like swirled around and then got hit by a semi and he's like,
It's a very sad video.
it's
I
so
think
sad.
I think I
but,
was
it,
depressed for a day after.
but it's like super hilariously sad. It's like you just feel bad. You're like, oh no. Oh, that poor old man. And you can see his face just drop. Like that's his bird. He like trained that bird. And it's
Yeah,
just,
he starved that bird.
yeah,
Poor
he
guy.
he trained it all right. So I mean, yeah, that was a running thing. That's like Corn 2.0. You know, we talk
Wow.
about that. So
Have
yeah,
you-
man. I just wanted to tell everybody, I'm really proud of Michael. So we decided we were going to start playing games again. That was great because I haven't seen him in forever, and I'm like, hey, you're alive. We should game together. And he's like, no, I'm too cool. I'm playing with my brother and shit. And I'm like, nah, you can. By the way, you moved, and I can't see you again. Resume posture. There you go. Anyway, he's like, no, I'm playing with my brother. I'm too cool to play with you. And I'm like, oh no, you should come around and play. And he's like, fine. And then we decided to play some games together. And we talked to him about what we were gonna do, and we're like, oh, we'll play League a little bit, and then he's like, oh, I want to play Smash Melee on the computer with the Melee sticks, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can play that. I was good at Melee, and then I try to play it, and like the
No, you
shit's
weren't.
all busted and janky. Like I can't, the controller's like not hitting inputs, and I think it's because I have like a 20-year-old Wavebird, and
Mm.
it's just not working.
For the record, it is on Blake's end, not on the end of the service.
Yeah,
that
no,
you're using,
it's
but
on
the
my end.
service is fantastic.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's my controller.
Oh yeah, that thing's probably not doing so hot.
It's not functioning super well. So I'm either gonna have to buy a new controller, or I don't fucking know. But regardless, it's not picking it up super well. So I'm like, well, damn, man, like, guess
Dude,
we'll
I
have to.
suck at Melee.
So I was like, we're gonna have to figure out
Mainly
something.
it's sick.
Yeah, I was
It
like, we're gonna have
is.
to figure out something else to play that's like new and fresh, except not new, but fresh for us because we haven't played it before. And so we settled on StarCraft 2. And I thought, Michael, he's good at video games, man. He knows how to play shit. I had no idea he had never played like a real-time strategy game before ever.
Wait, no, none, ever.
None.
Zero.
Ever. And
What
so
are you doing with your
we
life?
log into it,
Playing
and he's
fucking League of Legends.
yeah. So we log into StarCraft, and he's like, "Do I need to play the tutorial?" I'm like, "Did you get hit with a board before we started playing? Like, what happened? No, you don't need to log into the tutorial. It's like, this is your units. Move your units to here. Now move them to here." I'm like, "You're not dumb. Like, build a Thornmail on Ash and let's fucking go." And so he's like, all right. So we log into the game. And he plays Terran, which is legitimately the easiest to figure out thing because it's all straightforward. I'm people and I build people buildings and whatever. And I'm like, okay, here's what you do, get started and do your thing. And he's like, how do I build shit? And I'm like, what? He's like, I don't know. You said build this. What the fuck? Build shit. And I thought he was trolling me. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. You just build a supply depot right over there, Chief. You'll be fine. Okay, what does that though? I don't. I literally I don't know how to respond at this point because I'm still about 3/4 sure I'm being joked. I was like, that thing builds shit. Just move it over there and you build some shit with it. Like,
Okay, so let me interject here.
please.
Like, I figured out how to build shit after a little while, like just dicking around with the controls. But the problem is that I didn't know what building anything, what effect it had. Like,
Right.
I don't know what build. Like, I know how to build a supply depot, but I don't know what a supply depot does or how my units are supposed to interact with a
Resource
supply
gathering.
depot. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I knew that resource gathering was
Yeah.
a thing because there are all those memes about collecting more minerals or whatever the fuck. But like, I'd never done it
You
before.
need more
so it's
minerals.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You need fucking sulfuric gas or whatever the fuck it's called.
Vespine gas.
Vespine
You must
gas.
construct additional pylons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I had. Yeah. Anyways.
So
Continue.
yeah, there were issues, let's say. So I'm like trying to tell them, and I'm playing Zerg, so I'm just fucking around, exploding and building shit. And Michael is like, at one point he's like, "Hey, what's this guy do?" And it's like a reaver or something. He's like, "Watch me micro this guy," and he's just moving him in and out like orb walking with one unit. Meanwhile, I have like 200 units like right over here. And he's like, yeah, watch me micro this. And he's like shooting something and he's like, yeah! And I'm like, good job, Michael. You're doing great, buddy. Because I'm
found
trying
a-
to be
You
trying to
don't
be
understand.
supportive.
I was legitimately orb walking the shit out of that Reaver.
He
Like,
really was.
I
That's
was
not. I'll give
fucking
him
him up.
credit. He orb walked the shit out of that guy. Just immaculate orb walking on one unit. And so like we end the game, I kill both the computers, and then I go look at the scores, and I'm like, oh my god, uh, Michael, you got like 7,000 total points. And he's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, I had 110,000. He's like,
Not-
oh. And then I go look at his
Hey,
economy
well,
page. He
don't
minded.
act. Hang on. Don't act like I thought that I was doing anything in this game. I definitely knew that I was worthless.
Well, no, I kept telling him, I was like, just experiment with shit, build up shit. You'll like, you figure out what the units do. That's fine. I can beat the computers whenever. It's not a problem. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And then the orb walked to that one unit, and that was it. That was all he wanted to do. Was like
My
dick around with
APM
that
was
one guy
almost as high as Blake's.
because he was orb
That's all
walking
that
one
matters.
unit the entire game. And I'm
I know
like,
that APM matters. I'm a StarCraft.
I was like, okay. And then so I looked at the economy page, and he had mined like a grand total of like 2,000 total minerals. That whole game.
Maybe
2,000.
like a year from now, you guys will be able to play multiplayer against other people.
Well, that was the
Dude.
idea. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I played some StarCraft. I'm not great or anything, but I played enough, and it was fun, and we'll have a good time. I was like, it won't be like as long as we don't try to like swing for the fences and go for like some epic level of StarCraft that I'm not going for. Like we can have fun with it, and just see how high we go. At this point, I had no idea that he had like never even seen an RTS and is like, what does a peon do? Like, it mines shit and builds shit, and then like, what do? You build barracks, and that makes units. You use them to shoot the other guy's units. It's like,
All right, let's not act
oh.
like StarCraft is the most straightforward game to pick up with literally zero context.
Well, I would have given you context if I had known you were completely fucking ignorant as
When
to
did
what
I
it
claim
is.
to know anything?
You
I never
didn't.
said
I just
knew.
assumed that you would. You game. You
What?
play games. Wormlock,
Okay,
you ever played an
League-
RTS?
Yeah, I've played a lot.
Oh, surprising.
Nice. Okay, so you've got 1 for and 1 against. Nice sample size. there.
Usually, like I don't know, like one of my first games that I played like a lot as a kid, like when I was young, was Age of Empires. So like
Thank
Age of Empires
you.
got me into real-time
Well,
strategy, and then like Command and
I-
Conquer Generals.
I
and
said to him, I was like,
Battle for
so
Middle-earth.
you never played Age of Empires? He's like, no. Like Warcraft? Like World of Warcraft? Not the same thing?
I have never played either.
Yeah.
So-
I was like regular StarCraft, like Age of
Usually, when you're a
Mythology.
gamer, you've brushed
Command
up
and
with
Conquer.
at least one of these games.
Okay, here's the thing that you guys are not taking into account is that I started playing League of Legends when I was like 13 years old. And that was the only like serious game that I'd ever played up to that point that wasn't like a console fucking single player party game, And so like I
Is
got
that
really
Cheryl I just
into,
heard in the background?
Yeah, that's her. Let me get her. Cheryl, come here.
She's very concerned about this topic.
Cheryl, say
Oh,
hi.
look at the kitty.
Get the fuck out of here, Cheryl. Yo,
right.
get out of here, Cheryl. Yo.
And so I just got really into League, and then that was like all I really played. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
no, I
never
know
really-
now. I know now
Yeah.
that's what you mean.
But like I never even got into like any FPSs, or I've never really gotten into any other genre like that heavily. Like,
Yeah,
the
but,
closest
like-
is Melee.
But we played Valorant, and you weren't like shooting yourself in the foot or
Well,
like the
Valorant
sky.
is a lot easier to pick up. I mean, I know how fucking Counter Strike works, and it's also a lot more straightforward. You kill all the other
Yeah.
guys before they plant the bomb, or you plant the bomb before all the other guys kill you.
I will
Versus
give you that.
StarCraft, where
yeah.
it's like
You
build
kill
this
the other
unit
guy's
so that you can
base.
build this unit, so that you can build this unit, so that you can move your units forward, so that you can build this unit, so that you can attack this unit, so that you can win.
Well, I mean,
the
Michael,
fuck?
the really good Korean players in StarCraft just build one Reaver, and then they micro the shit out of it.
You know what, Blake? Here's the thing. I knew that I
see,
wasn't gonna be good at anything that I did in that moment in time, or even like remotely competent, but I knew that I could orb walk that Reaver,
I
and
mean,
by
it's a
God, I
next
was going to
level.
do it.
Like honestly, it's a next level skill because if you're really good at microing that one Reaver, you only have to mine like $2,000 worth of resources. It
Exactly.
frees you up to have
To the,
lots of population, I guess.
frees you have to do something.
You're just really stretching on giving him credit.
I'm trying, man. It's
I have
really hard.
explained-
I
I
was
have
like,
explained
I was
what.
jazzed about this. I was like, yeah, we can build on this. We can build on this. And then I looked at the score sheet and I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't appreciate the implication that I am not only bad but incapable of learning.
No,
'Cause
that's
that's
like,
definitely not the case.
Michael, those are like I should call the hospital numbers. Like, I'm genuinely concerned for your mental health, having seen
Oh, were you
that you mined
concerned when we were
2,000
duo
resources.
queuing? Bazinga, roasted.
Yeah, I got him.
I didn't
You
hear the
carried
roast.
him,
I was
huh?
too
I
busy
said,
being
were you
concerned.
concerned for my mental health when we were duo queuing?
Yeah, actually, a little bit. I was.
Oh,
'Cause
oh,
you were going
whatever.
hard on those kids in the duo queue.
Which one? The ones on our team or the ones on the other team?
The ones you were shit talking. It was good. I missed
Which
that.
ones was I shit talking?
I don't remember. It wasn't as good as when you told the kid that you'd build a time machine and go back and before you stopped Hitler or did anything else, you would stop his parents from ever meeting. That was that was like highlight of shit talking. But like last night, you got hot. Like it was at that who's the like god awful moron player that we had?
The Ezreal, the
Yeah,
Vigar.
that Ezreal was terrible. The Viker just rage quit. You couldn't do anything with that.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
no, that first Ezreal.
And
Wow.
second Ezreal.
And the second Ezreal.
Third
Every
Ezreal was
Ezreal.
all right.
Third Ezreal was all right. That's
He
fine.
was better than most of the ADCs we get.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was god awful in lane phase, but then
He really stepped it up
he
in
was
mid.
actually pretty decent in the mid game, which is better than most solo queue ADCs because most of them are terrible in lane and then terrible forever and terrible at
They're
League
just
of
bad.
Legends. Yeah.
So actually, now that we're talking about this, I want to cover this a little bit because I've
Okay.
been getting a lot of stuff, and this was my idea of what I wanted to talk about on the podcast. So we'll see how long we can take this, and then we can go to whatever you guys want to talk about. I've been getting a lot of requests in the coaching channel for coaching and stuff like that for ADC in particular, and they really want to learn ADC, and I'm like, that's cool. I can teach that. That's not a problem. But first things first, I'm going to tell you guys some of the common problems that I see, and then we can go from there and we can use those guys last night as like a perfect example, right? The first problem that I see with and this is just me being general, and this is anything short of diamond, okay? And a lot of times in diamond, I still see these problems, okay? But these ones in particular are like the things that I see that are the most egregious problems that you need to fix. You're too far back.
Yes. That's a bad one.
Anybody that is in gold or lower, I will tell you, odds are, without even looking at your gameplay, you're too far back. Like, I don't have to. I know this because I've experienced it too much. Like, in the last coaching video I did, and you guys can check the YouTube channel if you're curious or you want to hear this and see it, because I
Just
really.
hit 500 subscribers. Woo!
Yeah! We got 500
Woo!
subscribers on the YouTube, by the way. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, if you guys watch this on the YouTube channel, you can see the last ADC video I coached. I broke this down really well. And I said, if you draw a line on where the minions meet, like our melee minions hit their melee minions, that is like the line of scrimmage in football, right? Like starting line and D line, or O line and D line both meet right there. That's where we're hiking the ball. That's where the fucking minions meet. Are you raising your hand? I can't hear you.
How did you unplug your mic?
Did you rip your microphone off your headset?
There are people talking in the background. It comes off. It disconnects. I was
Oh.
blocking my parents from being in the view. That was what I
Mm.
was doing. It just looks like I'm
Oh.
raising my hand.
I
Like,
thought
"I'm
you
a
wanted to
teacher."
speak. I didn't know what was going on. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Go, continue.
Okay, so
Sorry to distract.
no, you're good. Line of scrimmage. What players will do is that they will back all the way up so that they're CSing minions at max range auto attacks. And then their opponents will do the same thing, meaning that neither of them can shoot the other one. You got about a flash worth of distance forward that you can walk without being capable of being shot. Each player has that. And that flash point ends right at where the minions meet. Because that's the point where I can shoot, because that's my max range auto attack. So there is just a no man's land that is 2 flashes thick in the center of the lane that nobody's taking advantage of. And if you just walk 1 flash forward, every time they go to CS a minion, you can shoot them. You can still hit all your minions because they're going to be in your range, but they're going to be in your range, right? Which means that you now have pressure. And if they're scaredy babies, then what they're going to do is back off because they don't want to take that kind of constant punishment, right?
The very first UNSW LOL Society video trading stance.
Yep.
How many of you listening have watched that? 6?
I bet it's gone down since
7?
we haven't talked about it in a bit.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it in 15 episodes, so I would say no
time
one.
to revamp that.
So, okay, which brings me to my second point. Watch the UNSW Law Society videos. They are on our YouTube channel as a linked playlist. It goes straight to their videos. And I've got them all listed out in episode order. If you go to playlists, it's one of the playlists and it lists everything out as
And they're
educational.
old, but suck it up.
Well, and that's the thing is they actually
Even the
released new
are
ones.
better,
Oh,
yeah.
did they?
Yeah, they're only like 7 to 15 minutes long a piece.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're
They
nice
used to
little chunk
be-
videos that
they used to
have
be an
like
hour
actual
apiece.
visuals. Yeah.
Yeah, so they used to be an hour a piece. They really like condensed the shit out of them because that was the complaint of everybody who watched them is that they were too long. Even though I think they were really good. Even
They're as
back
long
then.
as one standard game of League of Legends.
I
I can't
can't!
watch that.
Like, and so it's like, and I've told people, and without a doubt, those videos literally contain everything you need to know to hit diamond.
Yes.
If you watch those videos
And listen to the LOLA podcast.
and listen to the LOLA podcast, it's like a vitamin
Like,
with the video. Like the video is the meal, the LOLA podcast is the vitamin.
have you seen that book, that meme where it's 2 books that are next to each other, and one of them is what they teach you in Harvard Business School, and then the other one is what they don't teach you in Harvard Business School, and it's like these 2 books contain the sum of all human knowledge. That's the League of Legends equivalent version of that is the UNSW Law Society videos and the LOLA podcast.
Right.
So
100%.
it looks like I'm grabbing imaginary titties with this visual, but
yes, it does. And if one of those titties was named Everything You Need to Know at Harvard Business School, and the other one. Now, okay, anyway. So, yeah, God, that totally wrecked me. All right, UNSW Law City. Watch those videos. It's on a playlist. You have no excuse for not doing it. And literally, anybody that I coach that comes to me and they're like, I'm an iron player and I'd like you to coach me. I say, okay, I'm going to watch your gameplay, but everything I'm going to tell you is contained in these videos. You need to go watch these videos because these are the things that you are doing wrong. Right? Okay. So now that I've talked about you're too far back, because I guarantee you are, the next thing that you are not doing right is that you are not punishing people for stepping into your space. Right? Like, if you draw bubbles around your champion, and those bubbles are the max range of your abilities, including auto attacks, if somebody enters your bubble, they need to lose health for it. Outside of rare circumstance.
yes.
Right? I mean, obviously, if there's like 5 people entering that bubble and running at you, you don't have time to shoot them. You need to get the fuck out of there. But if it is like your laning phase and it's you and it's them and they walk into your bubble, they need to eat shit for that in some way, shape, or form. You are trading hit points for space, right? And the problem in lower elos is that they give that space away for free. And it's literally sitting in front of you in that demilitarized zone that I just talked about between the minion waves. Like,
The
that's just free
DMZ.
space.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so people will say, like, in community games they used to play, and they'd be like, damn, there is a lot of pressure, like, generated by this bot lane. Like, how do you guys have so much pressure? That's what it is. Like, we're taking that space and then we're punishing you for walking into it. And then you feel like every move you make costs something and you feel pressured.
Yeah. One very like specific tip I would give with like if you want to get better at punishing people when they come into your zone, a tip I back in the day, Box used to talk about how the Riven versus Rise matchup. As Rise, you whenever you're not CSing, you're pressing W on the Riven. So if she tries to come into range of you, you just instantly snare her and then walk away from her. And that concept I like taught me really well too. If you're not CSing, you're not going for like one specific CS at a time, like putting your mouse even near or on the enemy champion, like even if you don't end up auto attacking them, you don't walk into their range, like if you start it up before they even walk towards you, if they start walking towards you, you'll punish them as soon as they get into your range. And like using that like very specific type of like tool, like your mouse should not be just dead, like moving you around only and like only CSing. Like you should be using it on the enemy champion, even if you don't end up trading with them.
Yeah, watching low elo bot lanes, it feels like the difference between like watching a low elo bot lane and a high elo bot lane is that low elo bot lanes are just a series of all ends. It's like both people are standing extremely far away from each other for the whole lane, and then as soon as somebody gets hit by something, like whether it's a snare or a hook or whatever it is, then it just goes from 0 to 100, and 2 people at least are walking away from that dead like every time. Versus high elo, you'll see like it's a chip game where you're trying to get your auto attack here and your one ability here and just trying to whittle them down versus just all inning them. And if you take that theory of like trying to do chip damage, when the enemy team inevitably goes for an all in, you'll have the health advantage to just beat them because they'll still go for it unless you completely poke them out of lane. But yeah.
Okay. On that subject, all ins. This was my next thing. Actually, you transitioned that perfectly for me. Um, okay.
It's the LOLA
Bot
difference.
lane is by far, of all the lanes, is the most played like Texas Hold'em. Okay, so whenever I say that, or as they refer to it as in Texas, Hold'em.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Dad of the podcast,
Yeah.
everyone.
He's not my dad.
So anyway,
Joke's on you.
yeah, little does he know, right? Right? Anyway,
Oh, this is awkward.
so anyway, don't sorry dude, kimonos do it for me. I couldn't resist. Anyway, shit man, I
when
lost
that joke was incoming. You're talking about fucking all ins, you
I was like,
goddamn
oh, thank
boomer.
you. It's like all ins as if it was poker.
I know what he's talking about better
Thank
than
you.
he knows what he's
Oh
talking
no,
about.
I got lost on the "I fucked your mom" reference. I'm sorry. It's hard.
And it was quality, I
Okay.
assure you.
Yeah. So anyway,
I was amazed you didn't go there the first time, but you're fading fast, old man.
I was gonna make a "go there the first time" reference about your mom, but now I'm not going to because it's too simple. So here we
Too
are.
simple.
Well, it was too easily set up. It feels like
Low
just
hanging fruit.
and like that Minute Bowl commercial where he slaps the cereal out of the kid's hand and he's like,
No,
No.
no, no.
no, no,
Not
no,
in my house.
not in my house. It was like that. It was one of those. Anyway, so all in Texas Hold'em. if you're good at Texas Hold'em, you will see that like a lot of things will be I'm going to bid a little bit regardless of what my cards are. I think I'm in a good position. I'm going to bid. Or, I'm going to play a long shot and I'm going to try to force you out of the long shot before you commit. The different movements are made on various information. But when somebody pulls the trigger, they're like, I'm all in, right? And then the other person has to make that decision about what it is they're going to do. In League of Legends, you can win those fights by just deciding that first, even if you're wrong. Because the other side often will just get shocked that you came at them and then run away instinctually. This isn't the lowest of elos, right? This is your bronze and silver. Well, not silver, bronze and iron, right? Like, those be like, oh God, they're running at me, run! And they'll do that, right? You
You're
can
punking them.
sometimes
You're getting up in their face and going, "What?"
what?
And then they just
And they're
run
like,
away.
ah, and they flinch, and then you're like, yeah, bitch. And so you can do that and actually just win off that. It's stupid, but it actually works sometimes, right? Sometimes they'll just back away and let you have the wave because they're too scared to come forward because they're like, well, if they're trying to fight me, they must know something that I don't know, you know. So I mean, realistically speaking, a lot of times like the first team to go aggressive wins just because
Right.
they were the first. And then that brings me to my next point is when there's an all in, it's an all in, right? Like anytime somebody commits an all in, what happens? Cooldowns are spent to kill somebody, right? And
Mhm.
if they spend cooldowns to kill your support, then you need to kill one of them or at least make them hurt. Like use your cooldowns. Don't just be like, "Oh, they're dead." Because like the reality is,
I've been hearing about this all week
well, it's because it
in
keeps
in
fucking
our games.
happening. So it's like if we fight as that you are in a two-man unit, right? If one of your men dies, like you have a duty to return damage. Because if Thresh hooks and flays and Caitlyn throws in her trap and she Qs and she uses her E, what do they have left to hit you with?
Mhm.
Like you can trade all of your damage into Caitlyn and you'll get one auto attack back for your trouble. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
counter trading is a big deal, and that's actually another big thing that they talk about in the nice UNSW LOL Society videos is if the support engages on your support, if you just run away, you're not helping them out at all. Engage back onto the ADC because now you don't have to worry about that Leona E or that Blitzcrank hook because they used it on your support. A lot of times, if you have a good you and support your support have good communication, an engage from the enemy team can be a good engage for you. Like the enemy pulls your support, now they have nothing to stop him from engaging onto their ADC, and you counter engage onto the person who's now susceptible, and their support has no peel for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like them using cooldowns should be thought of as an opportunity for you to do damage. Whenever I'm playing against a Morgana and I see Black Shield go down, or I'm playing against Sivir and I see Spell Shield go down, what is going through my mind is how do I land something on this person in the next 10 to 13 seconds before that
Also,
shit comes
just
back up?
as a sidebar to this,
Hmm.
I think bot lane is arguably the most important lane for knowing opponent cooldowns. And this is maybe a little bit more advanced, like you just need to work on your trading stance and stuff. But if you're like in the gold or platinum range, try learning like the most important cooldowns like Thresh Hook, Morgana, Black Shield, and have at least a rough idea of how long they are. Because I see so many people like Morgana will use her Black Shield and then they'll just be passive for the next 20 seconds. And then by that time, it's back up. And it's like, well, shit. You didn't do anything when she wasted her most important cooldown. And
So
now it's back up.
sub point A on cooldowns. Know what abilities they took at level 1 and 2? Right? Like I see so many times Morgana support I'm going to take pool level 1. Why do I take pool level 1? Because it helps me push the wave faster to get to level 2. If Morgana took pool level 1, what else does she have to do anything to you with? She has weak ass little bitch auto attacks that do virtually no damage, and you have an ability that can mess somebody up, and your ADC has an ability that can mess somebody up, and you both have auto attacks. They have auto attacks, one of which is probably weaker than yours, and their ADC has one ability.
Yep. Yeah.
Even if Morgana throws pool at you, you walk out of it.
Yeah.
And you take like no damage. You are stronger than her if she does that. Like you have an entire level to bully the piss out of her until she's even a relevant threat to you. Right?
Yeah.
And at 2, if she misses her binding, she's not a champion anymore.
Yep.
Right? Like
that bitch.
yeah, just beat the shit out of her. She doesn't have bind. You have like 8 seconds to beat the ever living piss out of her. Or longer. I think her bind's
one of
actually
my
longer.
favorite like matchups is Thresh into Morgana, because everyone thinks that Morgana counters Thresh because of spell shield, and then
Which is true at the highest level.
Right. It's true to
not
if you
really
play it
true
correctly.
in silver
Right.
at all. Because
when they
I like
W
that
the wave level
silver.
1, and then they take Q and they miss their Q at level 2, and then they're suddenly realizing you're walking at them and you're hooking them and flaying them backwards, and they're like, oh shit, I have nothing to deal with this. Like that's so often counter kill Morganas at level 2 because they waste everything before they even have the chance to hit something and they're dead. Because
and let me just add on to that with something a little more general, is that like people look at, like, I've been playing a lot of Melee lately, and Melee matchups are relatively static because the characters have all of their, or not static, but like they're the same every game more or less. Like Marth Fox is always generally going to be the same versus like in League, because they're just, you start off with all the tools available and they're available to you all game. And when you play League, that's not the case. Like people look at matchups that are like, oh, this is a counter matchup, but in almost every counter matchup, there are dozens of opportunities where you're actually stronger in the 1v1 or the 2v2 if you're talking about bot lane, but people just won't fight because they think it's a counter matchup. And this is another one that you have to like have some level of understanding of the game to really apply. But like I'm tired of seeing silver and gold players talk about, oh, this is a bad matchup for me. Like it doesn't matter what matchup you're in silver or gold. Like if whoever plays better is going to win almost every time.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
what
then
you
like
should be focusing on.
another thing that we can realistically talk about in that is like know why it's a counter matchup.
Yes.
Because if you know why it's a counter matchup,
You know
then
when
you
it's
can
not.
account for it.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so for example, I play Thresh a lot, or I used to play Thresh a lot. And everybody would always say, Morgana's a counter. Morgana's a counter to Thresh. It's true. She is. Because if you throw Hook, she can Black Shield. And then you have to break the Black Shield with magic damage before you can flay or before you can do anything else. And your biggest tool is kind of useless, right?
Yeah.
Cool. How do you go around that? Instead of maxing your Q, you max your E.
Yep.
And then you walk up to him and you flay him. And Morgana will put a black shield on him after the flay hits most of the time. And then you use your empowered E auto attack, and it will take down the black shield.
Yep.
Yeah, and since we're sticking with this example, I think it's another like example of something that's only true at the top level. I know we briefly mentioned this, but like I think that playing the Morgana Thresh matchup is harder for the Morgana than it is for the Thresh, because realistically the only way that you're going to be able to do it is if you know who the Thresh is targeting at all times. Like if he's going to hook your ADC, like say that you're both standing in a position where you could either theoretically be hooked, you have to know who he's going to hook and then black shield that person preemptively, because you can't, I mean, you can black shield them late, but let's say that you're standing near each other, he hooks one of you, you put the black shield on after, and then he just takes the Q anyways, and then flays whoever you didn't black shield, whether you black shielded yourself or your teammate,
Yeah.
and then you lose. Like I think that matchup is way harder for Morgana to execute properly.
Okay,
than Thresh.
so it is, but there are some tricks around that too. As somebody who's
Sure.
played the flip side of that a lot, like I played a lot of Morgana into Thresh. So what you do is you stand in between Thresh and his target, and then you black shield yourself.
Yeah.
Purposely take the hook. Yeah.
You purposely body
But
block
then,
the hook.
but then if the Thresh hadn't actually thrown his hook yet, and you were just doing it preemptively, if he just holds on to his hook,
Right.
then now you're in a bad position. And
Well, I
I'm not
mean,
saying that to discount what you're saying. I'm
no,
just saying like
yeah, there's
everything
like I said,
changes based on the
there's
situation.
play, but if you think like, oh, well, I'm in a counter, there's nothing I can do, I can't hook, then you've
Yeah.
wasted your whole champion pick. You've wasted
Yeah.
your whole laning phase. And then the other thing you have to realize is look at the cooldown on Black Shield. The cooldown on Black Shield is 26 seconds at level 1.
Wow, is it really that long?
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
18.
It's 18 at
damn.
level 5.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
And then from level 5 at 40% CDR, you'll get it down to like 12.
Yeah. It'd be like 15.
Well, 40%.
Oh no, it's 18. It's 18. You're right. I was still counting from 26.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
So, well, actually, and it would be like 11,
Yeah.
but at 40%. But anyway, that being said, like, yeah, even at like a level 3 Morgana has Black Shield every 26 seconds. So if they Black Shield and block your CC, the longest cooldown you're going to have on CC is like a Blitz hook, and that's like 18 seconds. So you still have 10 seconds to fuck somebody up after it comes back off cooldown.
Yeah.
Right? If you're like, every time I do this, she Black Shields, that means you're not playing aggressively in the 10-second window that you have.
Yeah. The moral of the story is, like we said at the start, is like all matchups have there are counter picks, but they usually have windows of opportunity. And if you like, if you want to climb, you should probably be playing one or two champions, maybe three, and you should really understand those specific champions and who counters them and what those counters are, because you can still win those matchups.
Yeah, like I've won the Teemo matchup as Tryndamere like countless times. Like I'd say that I've only played against a few Teemos that I felt like actually invalidated me in the way that people think Teemo invalidates Tryndamere.
Yeah, it's like once Timo uses his blind, which
And
a
they
lot
were
of
like
people
all
just
Diamond
throw
2
it randomly.
Teemo 1 tricks, by the way.
Yeah, once they use their blind and an all-in champ, you jump on him and out damage him. And most people do what most people, they get hit and they go, I'm taking damage, I need to back up and not do anything.
And the
And then
problem
they
is that
just
they've
get poked
also
out.
never played against a Tryndamere that like knew how to play the matchup. Like
Mhm.
they're just used to blinding Tryndamere and then having him run away.
Yep.
And you can use that to your advantage. And this is another like this is a minor point, but I just want to, since we're talking about champion counter picks, like there are very few truly horrible matchups in League of Legends. Like I think the most severe matchups get down to like 70-30, and like most of them are not worse than 60-40. Like
Yeah.
70-30 would be something like Ari Yasuo or something, and even that you have like options, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
there are
like,
very few unwinnable matchups in League.
yeah, even like top lane, like one that I really hate playing is Quinn into Renekton. Like as Renekton, you just feel so fucking bad. But
Yeah.
most of the time, people don't play it perfectly to counter. And like if you understand the
Because they're
reasons
Quinn
why,
players and they have 6 collective brain cells working at their disposal.
true, true. But yeah,
I always hate seeing Quinn on my team. Always. I'm like,
Dude,
I've
I'd say
never
singer
seen a
in
good
game
Quinn
in
top.
Do you guys
general.
know the boss FFS, the European player?
Yeah. Mhm.
He is the only person I've ever seen where I felt like Quinn was a good champion watching him. Like he was actually disgusting on Quinn.
He's
Every other
the
Quinn.
Scion main, right? That
Yeah.
plays like Gragas too.
Yeah. He's the
Yeah.
AD Scion guy.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
he's-
sure he was one of the inting Scion pioneers, so you can thank him for that.
Fuck that guy. Fuck
Uh,
that champ.
All right, so the last
Anyways.
thing I wanted to say on ADC that is like, this is something I know you're doing wrong if you're in whatever elo you're in that's short of diamond. If your support partner has to run, you need to be doing damage. if you run, your support needs to be doing damage. Like basically, if you're in retreat, think of it as like a military operation. If you're in retreat and one person turns around and goes blam 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 and then starts running, you need to
If
turn around and
you're
go
playing a
blam blam
Reaper
blam.
and the other team has the fucking harvesters or whatever, you just kite them out.
Yeah.
They're running after you. You just over and over again, and then you win.
You are Ponderous Sea Lion playing StarCraft, and you're just ore blocking one person for the
You just-
entire
And
game.
then
You just think to
they
yourself,
try-
what would Ponderous Sea Lion do in StarCraft? And then you stop farming.
Hey,
Stop
I
going for
never-
the minions.
You do
back
not
off.
need an economy. This
League
is
of
not the
Legends-
time.
League of Legends is as cognitively difficult as I go. That's
So
it.
anyway, so yeah, the idea is that you provide cover fire for each other. And the good news is if you do it properly, by the time they chase you down to turret, they'll keep switching targets, right? And you'll keep doing damage to the person that's the closest. And they get this like stupidity bloodlust where they're like, I'm not in danger, I'm the pursuing party. And they stop looking at their health bar and then they just die because they'll run into death damage. I don't know how many times it happens, or they'll do something really stupid like your Thresh or your Blitz, and they'll chase you all the way to the edge of tower, and you'll just hook them and pull them in and knock them up and kill them. You know, like, I don't know how many times that happens, and they don't, because you've whittled them all the way back while you were retreating, they just die. But if they had full health, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and the other thing you do is even if you don't get a kill out of this and you've just done as much damage as you possibly can, you may have like a jungler, and that jungler may love two tasty 10 to 15% health targets. They'll just go and sweep up and get a double.
Yep.
So, I mean, you make plays possible if you return damage. Even if it hurts you a little more, return damage.
Not returning damage is so painful to watch. That's what I hear Blake scream about every time we play. He stopped hitting! Ah! Every time.
Yeah.
And it's understandable why. I'm not.
Well, it's
not
fucking
knocking
madness to me. And that's the part that gets me is like, dude, this is basic. They just used all their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Use yours. You know, like, this is your window. They can't do anything to you for X seconds except hit you with auto attacks. So anything that you do, if you hit one ability, you have traded an ability and an auto attack for an auto attack. You're ahead. If you hit 3 abilities, you've traded 500 to 600 damage for one auto attack. Fine. You know, why shouldn't you? Right? Last thing. The towers are not fatal. They hurt.
Won't stop.
I mean, they hurt. There's no doubt. But they're not fatal. If you have full health and your opponent is escaping under tower with 10% health, kill them. Like, try to kill them. Even if it doesn't work out. Even if you go in, I mean, if Thresh has hookup or Blitz has hookup, think twice. But if it's not that, and they burned abilities, and they're just walking away, and you're like, oh, well, they're under tower.
Yeah.
Tower doesn't block bullets for you.
Also, if you're a
It
support
no longer
player,
gives a shield.
Doesn't give a shield.
if you're a support player, I see way too many supports doing this. Do not do damage to tank tower first, and then immediately walk out of turret range when you still have 3/4 of your health.
Oh
left.
God, I hate that.
The best thing you can, and even any champion can actually do this. It doesn't even have to be just a support problem. If you tank first and you know like your teammate has the damage to finish them off, and you have a decent amount of health pool left, but you want to get to the edge of tower range, tank as many hits as you can, and then walk out before the last turret shot hits you.
Let me just back up. I want to explain this because I don't think anybody ever has really explained this to me effectively. It just kind of comes with experience, right?
Hmm.
If you are setting up a tower dive, the jungler's there, we're pushing in the wave, we're gonna dive on them and kill them under tower. Your responsibility as a support is to land the CC that enables these assholes to be killed, right? Or to disrupt them enough where they cannot defend themselves. And in doing so, you're going to take tower and hold it for as long as you can to allow your damage dealers to do damage as long as they can, right? Up to and including your death. So I'm going to back that up. Why would you die on a tower dive, Blake? If you haven't been hit by the enemy team, you can take one more tower shot and die, and nothing bad will happen. It's an execute. That's fine. You should execute if you can take one more damage for that diving fizz,
Yeah, and an
right?
important thing to do when you're the support going up first, especially like on, I see it a lot on Thresh, who like has a ranged auto attack. Don't throw your hook, miss it, flay, miss it, and then your ADC is tanking because they started auto attacking. Walk up, auto, then go for your CC. You'll grab the tower aggro first. So even if you mess up your hook and your flay, at least you drew their attention. And if it's a dive, you most likely have the damage to kill them even without your CC. And it'll be way worse for your team if your ADC pulls aggro because they dealt damage before you.
Yep. Because then you're in this weird situation where you're like, okay, guys, I landed the hook. Where is everybody?
Yep.
The tower's shooting me. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh, and then it's like
Oh shit! It's already
triple
doing half my
kill,
health.
and you're like, oh, that went horribly. Well, like, yeah, you have to set this shit up, and I mean, obviously, there are times in which you won't want to be the tank. Like, there's a tank jungler incoming, and they can't kill him, or whatever, or like if there's somebody who can break CC or like break like go untargetable. Like if a Yi is diving or something, or a Fizz, or an Elise, or whatever. Like in that case, they go in, they do their shit, and then they go untargetable. Then your job is to get tower
And
aggro.
if you're not aware, going untargetable resets tower aggro to whoever hits them next.
Yeah, so
So yeah,
that needs to be you. Because
Or
when they
whoever's
come out,
closest,
they need to
decision
not
makers.
have tower on them so they can do more damage. And if they do take tower aggro, they are buying you time to land guaranteed CC. So don't take max range shit. Like get up in there and get it done. Like your
yes.
job is to get it done, not to miss. So do everything you can to make it the most possibly effective. By the way, Ignite is incredibly useful for this circumstance. You throw Ignite on them during a tower dive, during on whoever the target is. You'll take tower on that. You still have your CC ready when they try to dodge your shit. But you've got tower. Auto attack Ignite.
Yeah. And one thing like to do with the holding tower that it's a little more advanced, but you should really get used to because it applies in like every lane with diving is going to the edge of tower range and just sitting there with the aggro so that you can be very specific with how many shots you take until you drop it at the last possible second for your team to have as much time as possible diving. Because the other thing that can happen, you can even take the tower aggro first and hold it for long enough for your ADC or jungler to kill. And then if you jump too early, they might still be under tower and low enough to die to tower. So even if you like did the first part correctly, you might kill them on the way going out. So giving them as much time as possible is super important.
All right. So those would be the like main things that you don't even have to ask me. Like I know you're already doing these things wrong, right? It's like I don't have to see your
But
gameplay.
you probably have really good macro, so don't worry about it.
Oh god, if I get
I'm
told
never
with
letting
some
that go.
like that used to be every time that just so you guys know, every time that we would get somebody requesting to coach, it would be this. Hi guys, I'm Silver and I have really good macro, but my micro isn't very good and I would like to be coach. And
Or my favorite one is I have good macro but bad decision making. What does that even mean?
yeah, yeah.
I've heard that before. That's it. That's impossible. Those are the same thing.
Yeah.
Dear God.
If you are anything below Diamond 1, you have bad everything. Don't
Yeah.
say I have good this but bad this. No, you don't.
You can say you have good this relative to other people in your elo
Yeah.
who are also terrible at everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
But we're all bad at League of Legends. That's why we're here.
that's true.
This is our support group, League of
I thought
Legends
this was
Anonymous.
supposed to be a improvement focused podcast.
Well,
Yeah, we got off that for a while, but we're coming back. We're coming
Oh,
back.
are we?
That's what the last kind
we
of
all suck, and we're gonna
40
suck
to
less
30
together.
minutes is supposed to cover. The first 15 is like, fireside chat.
Flaming you for being bad at StarCraft, the
Yeah,
usual.
yeah.
Yeah.
What we do.
You're the
I'm
master of
new.
flame in League, so we got to be able to flame you in something else.
That's true. I'll play you in melee.
You'll kick my ass. I suck. Dude, Ultimate ruined me. I suck at melee now.
So, well, all right, boys,
Wait, who
that's
do
an
you play in
hour.
Ultimate?
In Ultimate,
Yeah.
Captain Falcon is my main.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a degenerate Falcon player too.
In melee, I play him sometimes.
Yeah, I really want to get good at Falcon and melee, but God, I suck. I've never played like really competitively, and I just started like learning like wave dashing and all that.
Did
kind
you
of
download
stuff. And
Slippy?
yes. Yep.
Oh, dude, we have to play.
Dude,
What?
you're gonna kick my ass. I'm
Dude, let's
so
play
bad.
after the podcast. I'll play.
I
I'm
can't
not that.
tonight.
I'm not that good at melee, honestly.
I really suck. I can't tonight, but I definitely will take you up on it at some
All
point.
right.
I have to go to
So-
bed at a decent time tonight.
All right, now that we have that worked out, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your support of the podcast. We're back up to like a reasonable amount of money, which is nice because I'm finally not like stressed out about support. And I put this on the podcast like in the Discord the other day, but I just wanted to make sure like that I really got it out there to everybody because it's something that I'm like sincerely happy about. And that is that I was looking over the like big three League of Legends podcasts that aren't produced by Riot. And of those three podcasts, we are the only one that enjoys enough support from our fans and our community to have like Discord level 2. Right? And I was like that's really cool that our community
Thanks,
like
guys.
supports us enough for that to be a thing. So, thanks guys. Cuz like every time I bitched about that, I was like we're under 15. Everybody's stepped up and they've been really cool about it. And like somebody's taken up the torch. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. And our shout out to a Patreon this week is to.
Due to we didn't have one last week.
Oh, we didn't? You guys
No,
suck.
we didn't have. We don't have Patreon access.
All right. All right. Gray White. Gray White. Thank you, man. I
That kind of
appreciate
sounds like
your
a porn
support.
star name, but
It does
we
sound a
appreciate
lot
your
like a
support.
porn star name. But Gray
You don't
White,
judge here.
you're cool. And then the other one is Jesus.
Riley
Cracked.
Reed. Who is this?
Crack DC?
Who?
Logan Schlamp? Let's do that. Logan, thank you for your support. I have no idea how to pronounce your.
That's Logan Paul. He saw us talking about him in that one episode.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about the Suicide Forest, didn't we, that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, guys, just as like a hype announcement for episode 300, Wormlax is cooking something up. He's cooking something up. He's going to do some fun stuff, and it should be super sweet.
Now I'm on the spot because we've said it on the podcast. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I did.
We got
So like
3 months. Don't worry.
yeah, so he's got 3 months to like refine ideas, and he's a cooking something up. So yeah, check that out. And if you guys have any suggestions for Mr. Lax, please post that in the Discord and just like hashtag it episode 300 or something so he knows what you're talking about. And give him ideas of stuff, games, and things that you would like the hosts to play for episode 300. It should be a long episode, particularly if he's like setting up a bunch of cool shit for us to do. So, tell us what you want out of that episode, and we'll try to make it happen within reason.
Yeah, one thing I can say right now that I want to do, I'm going to be reaching out to like pretty much everyone who's ever been on a podcast before. So we really want to try to get large amount of people on here, so we want lots of stuff to be able to do with everyone around.
So sweet. And I don't care what that is. We can figure shit out. I
Hell
can.
yeah.
I've just paid the like a bunch of the server costs and shit for this year. So by the time we roll around to episode 300, we're a bit cash poor right now, but we should have time to bounce back. So even if it's like, I want you to play that stupid, what's the game that's like the heat right
Fall
now?
Guys.
The people that
Oh,
knock each
Fall
other
Guys.
over or
Yeah,
whatever.
Fall
Fall
Guys.
Yeah, we could play something like that. I don't care. Like if you want us to do that, I'll buy some copies. We'll make it happen.
I'm down to play Fall Guys.
You're probably a
Oh,
Fall
yeah.
Guys professional. Either that or
never
you've never
played it.
even played it before,
I haven't played it
and
yet
you're
either.
gonna like ask me how to build shit.
I'll kick your ass in Fall Guys. I'm a
What does this guy do? He's the basic unit asshole. He builds shit. Build shit with him.
That's more instruction than I got yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I thought you would know. I mean, that's like.
I think that's on you for overestimating
Well,
my
like if you would have come in
previous
and set
experience.
reasonable expectations, I would have been like, okay.
When did I set unreasonable expectations? I said I don't know how to play and I should probably do the tutorial.
Yeah, but tutorial is
But-
for like.
but-
I mean, he asked to
Yeah,
even play
but-
the tutorial. If he did that, you know he's a total noob. Like, if anyone who's even slightly knows an RTS, as soon as they get into one, they're gonna skip the shit out of tutorial. If he
Well,
asked,
okay, so I
should I do
figured.
this? He's definitely green.
No. I figured he was like, do I need to do the tutorial so I can like understand the units? And I'm like, fuck that. Just get in and play. Like, there are planes and infantry and fucking tanks and shit. You'll figure it out. Like, not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all you have to do is hover it and then like, oh, this is a unit. I'm
Bro,
gonna
those
build-
games are so full of fucking jargon. You need to have a tech base attached to your refinery so that you can build a sniper. And it's like, what the fuck am I reading? You know?
Oh,
He
you read
only
the
had
thing.
3 years of Texas history. They didn't help.
Yeah,
him.
they didn't
there
really
was
prepare
no
you for
history
that.
of StarCraft.
Would have
but
been
I
a much
can-
more interesting 3 years.
Bro, give me a blank Texas
Yeah.
map. I'll point out the Great Plains to you like that.
But
Actually,
they
I probably
skipped
can't even do that anymore.
reading comprehension. That was done in like 3rd grade. They're like, they're probably good enough for the rest of their lives. Like,
Well,
we'll
I
just
mean,
keep
why
passing
are
up
we
the history
spending
of
so much?
Texas.
Why are we spending so much time on reading comprehension when these kids can't identify the Great Plains? Shit!
How are they
What's
going to
important?
survive?
How are these kids gonna remember the Alamo if they spend all their time reading and doing math?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Fuck!
If they read too much, they'll be too far away from Jesus Christ.
that's
We
true.
wouldn't want that.
We got. Well, I mean, really, they need to color pictures of the Great Plains or read the Bible. Those are the two things that we got.
Sorry, libtards, there are only 2 genders.
Oh God.
Oh no!
Coloring
All right, good night, everybody.
and the Bible.
Wait, you said there were 2 genders and one of them was the Bible?
That was the joke. Was the first gender is
The Great
Coloring.
Plains?
coloring maps, and the second gender is reading the Bible. That's the joke.
They covered that. Texas history, year 3.
Yeah.
It's right after
Yeah.
the Alamo. Good night, everybody.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. You had to go there.
There's 2 genders. That's what we're doing now.
The joke is. Never mind.
I've definitely heard jokes like that where it's just had to take it there.
Well, oh my god. The joke is making fun of conservatives, not making fun of the LGBT community.
Okay.
I think they're all right.
Probably should have clarified that before I stopped recording.
I thought it was clear. Maybe it
No,
wasn't.
it's fine. It was clear. I understood this. But somebody is going to get their feelings hurt and cancel your culture.
Probably only be like one person. We'll be fine.
No, they'll.
Right?
Michael
When I run for-
Ponderous Sea Lion needs to be fired.
When I run for president in 2060, they're gonna dig that clip up.
Like, he clearly doesn't recognize all 16 genders and gender variants. This was him
Alright,
in 2020, the year of COVID.
That's what I can blame it on. COVID.
Yeah, I
Alright,
had
I'm gonna go to the
COVID,
restroom,
guys.
And
Brain
then do you want to
swelling.
play one solo queue game, Blake?
Sure.
All right,
Right.
I'll be back. It was good to see you, Worm.
Yeah, you
We
too,
have.
man.
We should play melee at some
Yeah,
point.
I'm totally down Totally down.
I'm not that good. Like I'm like go 2-2 at a local kind of good. So like
You'll
I'm not
probably
gonna-
still crush me then.
probably, but
Because I just started. Like I'm so new when it comes to
yeah,
the melee tech.
it's a steep learning curve.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good luck.
All right.
I'll take
So
All
I've
right, I'm out. I gotta go
extracted.
to bed.
I'll see you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Stream. It was great. See y'all later. What do we got? Jack. Let's see who's all on the stream right now. Users in chat. Damn, we have a lot of people on right now. Jackite. Nice. Frost is here. What's up, buddy? Taggins here. Wormlax. Lurks. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.